thank you very much indeed for sending in your questions for this question and answer session. So question 1, are you happy to see the offshore wind farms carve Norfolk into a grid complex by the unstructured way they are delivering to the national grid? And perhaps you would care to share your vision of our countryside in 2031. So I have to say I do support offshore wind energy. I prefer to see the turbines out at sea rather than on land, but we do need green energy. Do I like how that comes on shore? Absolutely not. I do not like the way that carves up our countryside, and I will do everything I can to keep protecting our area. Sadly, the authorisations for some of these routes are given by central government or by other authorities, and we don't have the control that perhaps we might like over those routes. But what we will do is make sure we engage thoroughly as a council in the process, and that we're doing everything to protect our local communities as we can. And I think it's important to say, we know that there is hope for an offshore ring main in the future, but there are unfortunately some projects that have completed the consent process in advance of that and will be delivered. But I am particularly worried about some of my communities where I'm their representative, such as Weybourne, and such as along the coast towards Haysborough and that area. And we will continue to work with those communities to do everything we can to protect them and our shoreline and coast for the future. Because Norfolk and Norfolk as a whole is too special to allow it to be chopped up and spoilt for the future. Is there still going to be an additional restrictions grant for those businesses that had to close in this most recent lockdown, but which are not eligible for the local restrictions grant? So yes, there is still going to be another round for the grant, and that will be in January, and we will be announcing those details as soon as we come back after the Christmas break. But the money that we've been given stretches out to 2022, so that's the time frame the government are planning for us to use this money. So what we didn't want to do was to get people having to work on 2 sets of grants at the same time. We have brought some of that money forward for those most badly impacted, so in need of urgent assistance, and the new scheme will be out at the beginning of January so that those businesses that are also being impacted can apply. What is the council doing to help the local economy through the winter? I think we are trying to promote as much as possible that people can still come here, but we need to remember that COVID is still with us, and it's really, really important that anyone coming to visit us is coming from the same restrictions, same tier level, and that when they are here they are abiding and adhering to the rules. Just because somebody is on holiday or away from their home environment does not mean that they can relax and not take the regulations seriously. So it's really, really important that anyone who is visiting us, please work with us to keep our community safe. We still are doing very well. We've had a huge amount of visitors over the summer, and we need to keep it that way. We can't be complacent now when hopefully there is some light at the end of the tunnel. You've seen the whale on Weybourne Beach. What is the council doing about that? So you will have seen that this was a very large whale, and it was washed up very high on the shoreline. So it's taken us a while because we have to get the appropriate authorisations in place. You can't just take a whale somewhere and dispose of it, particularly one of this size. So we had to get all the appropriate paperwork in place. That has been done. The whale was actually removed yesterday from the coastline, and there's an operation today in the location cleaning up as best we can, because obviously with a 50-foot whale, unfortunately we had to cut it up to remove it, and so we're making sure the beach is clean and hygienic for users. So that is what we're doing. When I say clean and hygienic, it's a beach, but we don't want pieces of debris left around. So that's what we've worked on. What is the situation regarding people coming from Tier 3 areas to stay in holiday accommodation? I hope by my earlier comment I've made that very clear. People in Tier 3 should not be travelling. That is the government guidance, and that is the guidance that we adopt here too. Please, if you are in Tier 3, do not come at the moment. Once relaxations in your area permit you to travel, we would love to welcome you back. But right now, our priority, as always, has to be the safety of our own residents. Thank you. I was refused a grant by NNDC and I feel I am entitled to it. Why wasn't I accepted? That's a very difficult one to answer without knowing all the details of your particular case, and if you want to write to me separately, I'm very happy to investigate for you and ask the teams here to do that. But in general, we are given very strict guidelines by central government on where this money is to be spent. It is money that they are providing to us, and so we have to adhere to that. If we pay out to the wrong people and we can't get that money returned, then we would have to take that money from North Norfolk finances to repay that to central government. We can't do that. This is taxpayers' money. So we need to make sure we are using the guidelines, interpreting the guidelines correctly, and that is what we endeavour to do all the time. Can my family come and visit me this Christmas? Well, it depends on the size of your bubbles. It depends on the time of Christmas that they want to come and visit. And what I would advise you to do is to make sure you are watching regularly the government updates on this, because they have said 3 households can get together between the 23rd and 27th of December. But obviously COVID is an ongoing and fluctuating situation and things can change at any time. So please keep up to date with the local guidance, and if you're not sure of the national guidance, then come to our website and you'll be able to see the restrictions there. So I hope that helps you. So the next question is somebody saying how many out of the 62,000 who have died were directly from COVID-19, not who tested positive within a 28-day period. And I have to say I'm very sorry, but that is a question that I can't answer for you. Basically, I don't have access to the data for the 62,000 people that we have sadly lost. And I think that needs to be directed to central government. So again, if you'd like to provide some contact details, I'd be happy to write a letter to the Health Minister on your behalf, asking if he's able to answer that question for you. I hope that helps. Thank you all very much indeed again for your questions, and look forward to speaking to you again soon. Bye-bye.